Aloha, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from Waihawa, Hawaii, and it's Sunday, so it's Talk Story time. Over the past 2 Sundays, I've been sharing with you my experience in becoming a kahu and the initiation process that I went through. And so the last time we were talking about me being woken up on the day of my initiation, which is the March equinox, okay, of 2014. And I was sleeping and I had a dream, and in my dream, my ancestor, Hela came to outside of my window and knocked, and it woke me up from my sleep, and I went to check who that person, who's knocking on my window, and I looked outside, and there he was, Hela, and he was pointing to a long line of koa. These were Hawaiian soldiers. They were dressed in malos, ready for battle, and they were carrying their spears. And at the head of this two lines of warriors was a tall, very prominent-looking ali'i dressed in yellow cape. And I later learned that this person could have been Kamehameha the Great, okay, and which is the person that my ancestor advised. So after waking up from this dream, I told my wife, let's go. So we packed everything up and we traveled up to the North Shore to Kaena Point. And at Kaena Point, you drive all the way to the end of the road, and you run out of the paved road, and there's a dirt area where you can park in. When we got there, it was so early in the morning, hardly anyone was there, so it was easy to find a space to park. And so we parked our cars, and since too early, I decided to go down to the beach, and near the edge of the beach, and begin practicing the chant that I was assigned to chant. And the chant was Nāmakua. Okay, so I turned to the ocean, I stood up and faced the ocean, and I started chanting. Nāmakua mai ka lihiki a kalakau, mai ka ho'okui a ka halawai. Nāmakua ia ka hina a kua ia ka ihina a lo. And as soon as I started getting into the chant, and I started listening, ia ka kauwi kalani, o kihai kalani, o vei kalani, nului kalani, kaholoi kalani. These are telling about the rumblings and the appearance of the ancestors in the sky and nature. As soon as I hit that part, I looked out into the ocean, and there was a pod of spinning dolphins out there. And they started jumping and spinning and displaying. Beautiful. So the night out came, the dolphins came in response to the chant, and I felt so humbled that the ancestors would, listen and show up. So I started tearing up already, and Elle was there watching, and we sat there. I finished the chant, and I continued to chant and practice so that I can get it right. And while I was practicing, the dolphins were offshore, but they came closer and closer and closer to shore and displaying. They were jumping, spinning, and just beautiful sight. And so we were there for about an hour or so, just enjoying nature. The wind was nice and calm. It wasn't blowing you away. So after an hour or so, the other people involved in the ceremony started coming, and we started greeting each other. And when the kahu finally arrived and stuff, he told us that we were going to the ocean to do some cleansing. And it's really interesting because when I first got there, I knew we would have to do a ritual cleansing. And I started walking the shoreline, and there was a spot kind of like in between the sandstone croppings. There was a nice spot where people could actually walk out a bit And that's why I had imagined this cleansing would take place. And sure enough, when Kau came and Kahukaiwi took us to the ocean, that's exactly where we went in. And so we all went in to do our cleansing and started washing and purifying, and I could tell that something was different about the water. Okay, and I had sat. My normal way of cleansing is that I sit all the way down the bottom and just rest, and that way I'm fully immersed under the water, and then I stand up and wash myself off, and I come out. And as I started walking out of the ocean, something told me to kind of like watch out, there's a wave coming. So I turned around and I was smacked with a wave right in my face. And right when I was smacking, the wave smacking my face, I heard my grandma's voice says, "Boy, go wash out your mouth. Make sure you wash that pilau mouth of yours." So, okay, Grandma. So for these waves to slap me was a reminder I need to wash out my mouth, make it clean. So I went out and put some water, and that's when I tasted the water at Kaina Point. The water out there is real salty in comparison to all of the other beaches that I went. So it's really, really salty. So I tasted it and spat it out there. I said, "Oh, okay, Grandma, sorry." And it's funny, the other couple who saw me washing out my mouth, and they go, "Oh, yeah." So they started washing out their mouth, and we came out. So after the washing, we went to our cars, and we had our regular clothes on. But after the washing and cleansing that we did, we walked to our cars and changed. And that's where I took out my yellow kihei. And after putting on my yellow kihei, and I had a ko'oko, a walking stick with me, the last thing I put down was my tea leaf lei that colored me and touched the top of my feet, this beautiful tea leaf lei. And as I put this lei on and turned and walked towards the other initiates, the kau looked at me and says, "Now we know why this ceremony was here." So my whole setup was very different. It looks different. The lei was different, and it was a special day for me. Okay, so Kaukaiwi led us towards Kaena Point, and we started walking along the road. And I was carrying a bowl with apu ava and some of the ava that I had ready to perform the ceremony. And as we walked, just about 5 minutes into the walk towards Kaena Point, my wife Elle was kind of like trailing me on my right, close to the ocean side. And as I started walking and meditating on the way, to my left, I saw something, another person walking, shadowing me. And I kind of like glimpsed on the side, not wanting to scare this person away. But as I glimpsed on the side, out of the corner of my eye, I saw my brother Bill, dressed in his yellow kihei, with a hoku, tea leaves over here, and he had his koko. And as I turned towards him, he had this real rascal smile, like, "Hi, brother." So I said, "Oh, mahalo for coming to me, coming and joining me," because by then he had passed away. Okay, so my brother accompanied me until we came to the spot of the initiation, and so it was a really, really special day. So I knew the Amakua was there, my ancestors were there. I knew my brother was there walking with me. And so when we finally reached the spot that Keivi had selected, and he told us, "Okay, this is where we're gonna go," and so we put mats on the ground, and we started, I started kind of like preparing mentally. Okay, this is, I'm going to be the first up. I'm the person that's going to open the ceremony with our ceremony. And so, sure enough, Kaiwi told me, okay, Dave, it's your turn. So I grabbed my bowl, I grabbed everything that I needed, a mat and everything, and I got the bowl and I looked towards the ocean, and I couldn't see the boulders. I couldn't see the boulders anywhere. I was looking for the boulders. And I turned to Kaiwi and I says, you know what, we're at the wrong place. And he kind of looked at me and says, what do you mean? I said, we're at the wrong place. This is not the right place to hold it. And in fact, you can call Kaiwi and talk to him about this. But anyway, I said, we're at the wrong place. And so I moved. In fact, there was a small hill that obstructed my view of the ocean. And I knew my ancestors had a specific vision of me doing this at a specific place. So I moved around, I moved around the hill, and I walked slightly in front of the hill to the point that was closer to the main road where people were walking by. And as soon as I came to the road and I looked towards the ocean, I saw the two boulders standing. I saw the white shells and coral mixed up right there. And there are the two boulders right there. And I looked at Kaiwi, now we're at the right place. So they moved everything down, down the hill into this one spot, and that's where we held this ceremony. And so I finished the ceremony. I started the ceremony by making awa and chanting Namakua. And after I mixed the awa, I turned to the stone on the right. Not the right, the stone to my left. I gave that one first. I walked back up to the second, and then in the back, and then I ended up front, feeding the stones, giving the stones the awa, just like my ancestors showed me in my dream. Okay, and so this marked the sacred spot. And when you're in a sacred spot, you have to be aware of, where's the right place to do it, because the sacred spot, you can be anywhere, but in this situation, I was given a specific area where I needed to be and how to perform this ceremony. So that was really, really special. So after I did my part, Kaiwi took over the rest of the initiation, and we were able to become initiated. There were three of us who were able to be initiated. I was the only kane, and there were other two wahine at the time that were initiated as kahu. So it was a really, really special day. After being initiated, to show my gratefulness to my ancestors and to the place that allowed me to join this club, I guess, or maybe fraternity, or this important group of spiritual people, and helping me obtain some keys to carry out my work that I've been doing since then. And that's being a kahu, a person given responsibilities for certain things. Okay, so following this, to show appreciation, I took my beautiful lei and I offered them as ho'okupu to the ocean and the area of Kaena. And it was really interesting watching, as soon as I put the lei in, how the ocean just took accepted the tea leaf and took it out, okay, and seen it floating out to the land of our ancestors. So it was a very, very spiritual experience, this whole thing of being initiated. And it was not only a vision given to me, but it's also a test to see whether I would do the things the ancestors showed me to do. And by testing me and showing me and me following up what I'm supposed to do, and standing my ground when I know I'm right, they realize that, hey, you know what? If we tell this boy to do something, he going. So it became a test, and I hope I passed and continue to pass these tests my ancestors give us. So this is a conclusion of being initiated, and I thank you for watching. And if you like this channel, please recommend it to other people, or make copy and paste it and send it to other people. I greatly appreciate it. My goal is to get at least 1,000 viewers, and right now we're just over 750. So your kokua in this will help me tremendously. Also, a reminder, I still do have books that you can get on Amazon. And if you have Kindle account, you can download e-copy on that. Or if you want a hard copy, you can get on my website, The Journey of Our Souls, and order a hard copy there. The hard copies come with personal signature and message from me. Okay, and mahalo for those of you who have purchased my book. I appreciate it. And I'm not out to make the New York, New York bestsellers list. That's not my goal. My goal is to reach the people that need to hear uplifting stories. Okay, and stories that will help you overcome the difficult times that you have. And we have been through some difficult times, and hopefully the stories that I'm sharing you, not only here but also in my book, will help you. Okay, there's always hope. Never give up hope in anything that you do. Okay, so my love to all of you out there, and thank you for watching. And this is Dave Wallace saying aloha.